on this Impala SS. What the hell's that? We came into a little problem. Our center link was worn out. I'll make another video explaining this. My last video I was changing a pitman arm in my truck. See, this is a non-serviceable pitman arm. See, it's just a hunk of iron and it has a hole going through it because the stud is in the center link because it's a wearable center link. If there was just a hole here and that little tapered spline went through the pitman arm, like up like that, and then the center link locked into it, the pitman arm would be wearable, but the center link would be not. Well, it wouldn't be. But changing the center link, we got a lot of play in this joint right here. I just put my fingers right over here to check it, and I turn the wheel and you feel it banging around. And also when you can tell if it's bad, you just look from the top, put the engine running, grab the steering shaft, you can move it a little bit, and you'll see this arm move, and the arm will move before this shaft does. So you know there's play in there because the arm can move, but the shaft won't. So then you're going to have excess play in your steering. But my tie rods are still good, but your center link is not. So what do? You got to save your tie rods. You're going to use a pickle fork over here? No, you're going to wreck this boot. So you have to use a tie rod and puller. Tie rod and puller looks like this. Kind of looks like a mini pitman arm puller. Now, pitman arm puller is going to go over here like so. See in my other video, if you're following my vids, that works pretty easy. But tie rod and puller a little bit different. You know, you could use a pickle fork. You could also, because you're using a center link, you could take a hammer, much bigger than this. I'll say that. But start hitting the joint right over here, really hard though. And that will shock it loose as well. So I can start right over there. But if you do that and you have your castle knot, I'll put your castle knot on. So if you slip and you bang those threads, you won't screw it up. But we're using a tie rod end puller over here, and it goes on pretty easy. If I could do it with one hand. Make sure you don't rip your boot. You have to back off on your threads a little bit. You put some oil on your threads. I already did before, but it goes on this like that. Tighten up by hand. Make sure it's fully seated all the way around. These little two claws. Excuse me for the light. You know, my garage isn't exactly the best place. It goes on this like that, and then you have to start cranking on this nut over here. And instead of hammering, it takes it off pretty easy. I'll make a video when I start cranking it down. But install it like so. I have no idea if the video just got that because my camera went flying out of my hand, but it comes out with some force. And we just popped that joint without damaging our boot. So now we can work on these joints. This I'm going to use a pickle fork for, over here and over there. Now we are taking off our idle arm castle nut. That's 11/16. Well, I save your old castle nuts too if you're reusing your tie rods, but change the cotter. Nothing really exciting went down, you know, I was just doing some banging, but all that stuff is loose now. Our tie rods are separated, our old center link is off. And I was looking at the old center link. I started on this side, okay. Idler arm is tight. Okay, what about the pitman arm side? You see that? I'm trying to hold the camera steady. This thing has play in all directions, like it's about to fall apart. Look how easy it spins again. Whee! So this is Ray Bestis or AC Delco suspension parts. They're junk. I used to give you a nice rubber boot, but I wrecked it. You know, it'd be nice to put the rubber boot on this one, but not possible. We have to use the foam that they give us. And I like the foam gasket so much. Here it is right over here. It's a foam gasket. But it's what it is. What a freaking piece of shit. See it better now on the bottom. Looking exaggerated too. Anyway, center link goes in this orientation. See the little bends? Bends go facing out. So when you install the new Moog one, it's going to look the same. See, the Moog has way thicker joints over here. Those are thinner, but they're skinnier. I'd rather have it thicker though, because there'd be less torque on it. But this is ridiculous though. Cheap parts these days. And these grease fittings too, I'm gonna put in the tie rod ends. I'm not a fan of those 90-degree fittings. I hate them, so they're coming out. It's really easy to do now. But that's how you change your center link. It's pretty easy. I'm doing this, I would say, literally no more than 20 minutes, and I got this all out. So it's a really easy job to do. I was expecting it to be worse, cracking those tie rods, but it came right out. Cool. Oh, and get this. Remember, like the pitman arm? Same deal. I can't even get the grease fitting out. I have to pinch it. What crap parts? Never buy AC Delco or Asbestos. Don't do it. Your new center link should come with little foam little gasket things. They go right over here on the studs, kind of keep the crap out. 2 new castle nuts, and they give you lock nuts too. I'm not sure if those are for the tie rod ends. They don't seem to fit on these studs, so I'm thinking they're for tie rods, maybe for Moog tie rods. And you get 2 new cotter keys. So I'll just keep that in mind. It should be a little bag inside the Moog box. Use Moog, don't use Asbestos or the AC Delco. I don't work for any of these companies, but it's just real world experience. This stuff is crap. Even took it out of my working area. This little center link just pissed me off. But changed our grease fittings, no more 90 degrees. Now we get the straight ones. I like those better. I don't know why, it's just me. Our Moog idler arm is still very tight and hard to move. It should be nice and tight. Thing has 10,000 something miles on it. Good piece. So these are unfortunately AC Delco tie rod ends, but they are still holding up. But we got to put these things back together and their center link back on, and we can ship this thing. Then I got to find a cotter key that fits tie rod end. One side of your center link is also has a larger stud. This is the pitman arm side. It's shorter too from this distance between your tie rod end hole. The idler arm side is longer and the stud is smaller. It's only for these cars, these old Caprices, you know, 77 through 96, even the box Caprice uses the same piece. So box style and the bubble, my bubble style uses the same. No idea how much you can see, but we're getting this thing assembled. When you just replace the center link, put your tie rods in first, because you can't pass the tie rods through a little hole over there. So tie rods first, into the center link, finger tight those castle nuts, and then line up your idler arm. You probably got to turn the wheels. My wheels are all off because I was playing with them. And pop it in your pitman arm. And when you're tightening up too, what is this? This is ouch, damn light. 3/4 on this side. I break lights a lot. They go flying. But put your finger on the top of the stud. Then use the box end and the wrench. Put it on while you're tightening it. Keep one finger on it. So when you're tightening it, to make sure that stud isn't turning. If the stud's turning, you're never going to tighten it. So you're just going to be there all day, and that stud's going to be spinning inside the shaft. So keep that in mind. That's how I do it, and you know you're heading in the right direction, which is better than heading in the wrong direction. So making progress. This should be all buttoned up in a second. I just got to run to the hardware store to get freaking 2 cotter keys for the tie rod ends. Maybe I might have some though.